Hey, what's up? And welcome to my corner of the internet. So, as somebody who grew up in the United States, and I grew up during a certain era where TV kind of was king, but it was dying down as king, I got to experience all sorts of different shows, dramas, animated shows, all sorts of different things throughout my entire life. I got the best of some of the 96 sitcoms that used to come on. I got the best of all sorts of different things, Saved by the Bell, this, that, these, and those. There is not a more inflammatory debate that is going around people of my generation, people a little bit younger, I would say, about this conversation, and I am ready to throw this up, and I'm ready to be, whatever. Say what you want about it. I feel like it's time to talk about what is the top 10 best animated shows. And I'm gonna be honest with you, King of the Hill is top 5, and it ain't lower than 3. So when I'm saying this, King of the Hill is probably one of the greatest anime shows ever created. I think it's hilarious. I think it is funny. I think so much of the humor still stands. I think a lot of the jokes. I think so many great things about King of the Hill. Dude, it's by God, let me not mess up. Dude, it had 13 seasons. Mike Judge and Greg Daniels created it. And they created such a fun and interesting show that was
pocket sand.
Incredible. I know we love The Simpsons. We love Futurama. They're in the top 10. It's just King of the Hill deserves more respect because I think it's one of the animated shows that basically stopped making seasons before a lot of other shows, and a lot of other shows just kept going for the money and cash grab. And I'm looking at you, Futurama, but I'm just being honest with you. King of the Hill is top 5 animated show ever, and let me actually explain to you what King of the Hill is. For those of you who have never experienced it, King of the Hill was basically this show about this family. I guess it's kind of a neighborhood. I'll just be honest with you. Our main character is Hank Hill. He lives in Arlen, Texas. He has 4 friends. His wife is named Peggy Hill. He has a son named Bobby Hill. He has a dog named Ladybird. And his 4 friends is Boomhauer.
It's like this, man. He's like a butterfly flapping his wings deep down in the forest, man. They're going to cause a tree.
And Bill Dotrieve. God, that is... I will always remember his name.
Stop teasing me!
Bill, I am Lenore, and I don't love you.
I forgot the other. Dale. Oh, and Dale.
You've got to be kidding.
I don't kid about my mower. Now get inside and start massaging my wife.
And then it's just a set of things and stories that happen between all these characters. Pretty much all of them have somebody except for Boomhauer, but Boomhauer is a bit of a ladies' man, so he's out there doing whatever. And then Bill Dotrieve basically has nobody, but you get more into why that is and stuff like that. King of the Hill is probably one of the most smartest intellectual shows because a lot of their shows, when they talk about things, it has so much layers to it. It's subtle. There's subtext. And I love how they talk about racism. I love how that was one of the best written episodes I've ever seen in my entire life. It was just so wonderfully written, and it was just funny how they showcased it at the same time. It's just a great show, bro.
Only way out is through a long, dark tunnel. And you're afraid to go in because there's a train coming at you, carrying a boxcar full of heartbreak. Well, let me tell you something. All you can do is let it hit you.
King of the Hill deserves more respect. And I was basically in Texas visiting my mom, and I was literally watching it over again, and I was like, yo, this show meant so much to me. King of the Hill is amazing. Now, I know a lot of people have their list, and I know Futurama is up there. Futurama is up there, deserves it. But King of the Hill is just one of those shows. And I guess I'm just debating because I have other people that have their own animated shows lists. And I'm just fam, you can't with me right now. King of the Hill still slaps. It's still one of those shows that's I know what I got from it. I was so entertained by it, and it continues to be one of my favorite shows that I ever got to watch because of the humor. Hank Hill is such a funny and interesting guy, and I love how he just showcased himself as a character. I love how he would run into the developing world and how he would deal with the developing world as his, I guess, what would you politically categorize Hank Hill? Of course, you could say, I guess, conservative, but I don't know. I think he was just someone who, at times, could be incredibly narrow-minded, but really, he would learn how to grow through a lot of his things because he was just an interesting guy who was set in the ways of his own things, but then you would see how the episode would develop and he would learn. And I think that's what was one of the best things about the show. You genuinely learn as Hank Hill, and I think it was one of those shows that was able to teach without talking to you. It was a show that showcased the character who was, he was kind of narrow-minded at times, but he would grow through it. And I think that's one of the best things about this show.
Miss Tammy Duvall works for me. I am her manager.
Well, she works for me now. I'm her manager. Technically assistant manager.
It ain't like that, G.
And I feel like they probably cut it off at one of the best points, but there were so many great things about King of the Hill. And if you've never seen King of the Hill, you need to go check it out. This is animated show royalty. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So if you've never seen King of the Hill, go watch it. Seriously, it's a 5 out of 5. Like without like any question, 5 out of 5. And one of the best shows, still has some of the funniest jokes. I can watch King of the Hill today and still feel the connection to my time currently in my own life. Anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you for watching. How do you feel? What is your top 10 and top 5 animated shows? Like, listen, I might put a list out there. I might make a dedicated video about my list. And I'm going to really start fighting people because you ain't going to tell me that this ain't true. But anyway, thank you for watching. Have a great day.